Today we're going to keep working on looking at sine law. Just a quick review of the sine law. Again, we can use the sine law when we have a triangle that is not a right angle triangle. That's the first criteria. And secondly, we need to know that we have an angle and its opposite side, so a side angle pairing, what we call a key. So for example, if you have a triangle, let's call it like this, and you have your angle A and you have side length A, and you have both of those known things, you have that complete key, then you are able to use the sine law. If you don't have both of those things, then you cannot use the sine law. Okay? So we only need to use 2 of the 3 ratios at a time. We don't actually need to use all 3 ratios at one time. And so when we've got sine law, for example, if you have side length A and angle A, and you're looking for side B, and you've got angle B, you don't actually need all 3 side lengths at the same time. So that would be a helpful thing to be aware of. Okay. So let's do a quick review of what we talked about previously. So we'll use our first example. We want to find the length of the indicated side. So right now in this particular illustration problem, we don't know the length of side A. So we have to figure out what that is going to be. That's our mystery piece. We know, for example, that we do have a key. We have a complete side angle pairing, and that's for B. So we need to first label this. Okay, we know if this is angle B, then this happens to be side B. And over here, this happens to be side C. We are looking for angle A. Problem with angle A is that, or the problem with trying to figure out side length A is we don't know what angle A is. So that's actually the first thing that we need to do, is actually solve for angle A. Okay, and angle A is going to equal, because we already have 2 of the known angles, we know that all 3 angles inside of a triangle equal 180 degrees. So if I subtract the 2 angles that I do know from 180 degrees, I can figure out angle A. So 180 minus 71 minus 53 is going to equal angle A. So if I take 180 minus 71 minus 53, that gives me 56 degrees. So I know now that angle A is 56 degrees. And that's an important piece of information if we're going to use the sine law to figure this out. And we have to use sine law to figure this out because it's not a right angle triangle. None of those 3 angles are equal to 90 degrees. And we have a complete side angle pairing. Okay, and without that, we wouldn't be able to use the sine law. Okay? We'd have to use something else, and we'll talk about that another time. So we know that in this case, our sine law, we've got A is equal to sine A, which is equal to B over sine B. Okay? We don't need to worry about C, so we only need 2 of the 3 pieces at a time. Okay, so in this particular instance, we're looking for A. We know that sine A, or that angle A rather, is 56 degrees. We determined that earlier. We know that B is equal to 4 centimeters. The length of side B is 4 centimeters. And we know that angle B is 71 degrees. So we're going to use our cross multiplying technique, and we're going to solve for side length A. So we're going to multiply across the top here. So we've got 4 times sine 56 is going to be equal to A times sine 71. Again, I want to get sine 71 away from the A because A is being multiplied by sine 71. So the opposite of multiplying by sine 71 is actually dividing by sine 71. If I do that on the right-hand side of the equal sign, I must also do it on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Okay? And so I'm just going to move this up here. And so we end up having A all by itself on the right-hand side of the equal sign because sine 71 divided by sine 71 cancels both of those things out. And then if I calculate the left-hand side of that equal sign, I end up with 4 times sine 56 divided by sine 71, and that's going to equal approximately 3.5. So 3.5 units. Okay, so just as a quick review, again, key thing, you want to be able to label the triangles. You want to figure out, do you have a side angle pair? Okay, if you have that, then you can use the sine law. If you don't have a side angle pair, then you're unable to use the sine law and you'll have to try something different.